Central banks have, it's claimed, played an integral role in the evolution of modern economics. Initially, central banks were closely tied to governments. Their independence became a formalized goal in the late 20th century, especially post the 1970s inflation crisis. However, critics argue this independence is often more theoretical than practical, and actually, the global trend towards independence, while not without critics, is often cited as a cornerstone of macroeconomic stability for the last 4 decades. I have no doubt about that, given that they're run by technocrats with a neoliberal bias and economic assumptions to boot, with a blind spot relating to the private debt in particular and how that is multiplied with the banking system. And so I believe, in fact, they are part of the problem, which has created widening poverty gaps across and within countries. They are actually not part of the solution. Within that neoliberal framework, empirical studies have repeatedly shown a robust negative correlation between measured central bank independence and inflation, particularly in cross country comparisons from the 1980s to the 2000s. Advanced and middle income countries that move towards independent central banks systematically, they say, enjoy lower and more stable inflation, with limited negative impact on real output or employment volatility. But again, this is through a rather narrow lens. But more broadly, we should be questioning the fundamental assumptions which underpin the role and function of central banking. I believe that while central banks have historically played some stabilizing roles, their modern incarnation is increasingly criticized for undermining market discipline, lacking democratic legitimacy and real accountability. They are fueling inequality and inflation and are clearly vulnerable to political manipulation. Much of the academic analysis of the effectiveness of central banks has been written by central bankers or other neoliberal economists. So there are alternatives which might be considered.